Hello. This is a sideshow. I'm Theodore Parker. Caught me unawares there a little bit. Camera automatically came in. Today is Wednesday, October 23rd, 2024. This is coming to you from Lexington, Kentucky in the USA. Weather conditions here in Lexington for today, a high of 78 degrees. Currently it is 57. Today will be sunny, high in the upper 70s and lows in the low 40s. Sunrise today, 7:55 a.m. Sunset at 6:48 p.m. The wind, 8 miles per hour. Last couple of days, wind has been low, 0 wind, 1 mile per hour. When we get a little breeze going and the trees start waving and things of that nature, you kind of feel it. AQI good at 34, and pollen is moderate. Excuse me. A few, as I said, this is a sideshow. I'm Theodore Parker. A few weather-related items. Milton likely dumped toxic water into Tampa Bay. Wildfires turn deadly in Connecticut. Burn in New Jersey as drought creeps into the northeast. I don't hear too much about Connecticut, up above New York. Hurricane Christy forecast to rapidly intensify into Category 4 storm off Mexico's coast. Hail, lightning create rainbow in Kansas. We're not in Kansas anymore, Dorothy. No rain delay. Taylor Swift gets soaked in Miami. Few of your weather-related items. On Monday, I did not cover the top stories. I will do that today. But before we get into that, Wednesday, October 23rd, 2024. Again, this is a sideshow. I'm Theodore Parker. Don't forget, if you're watching, to like, comment, share, and subscribe. So, in the news, on Monday I did something like PSA for the general public, recalls on automobiles. The other thing I wanted to cover was recalls by the Food and Drug Administration. Now, I'm not going to go down the list. I'm just putting the information out there. And you should, for my suggestion, would be to add it to your to-do list, because it's published every month and it's self-explanatory. Food and drugs, recalls. So all these are not published, all of these are not announced. You may have already bought the product, so it pays to keep up. And since it is food and drug, it covers everything from infant formulas, to medical supplies. So when I checked it, it's like 116 pages that covers all the way back to 2017, but it is basically monthly. So you have October, which we are in now. They have announcements starting on the 3rd of October. And I think the last announcement for a recall was on the 21st of October. So Food and Drug Administration recalls.gov or Food and Drug Administration, and you can take it from there as far as being updated and staying up with what's going on in the Food and Drug Recall Administration. Next one. I was in a public restroom the other day, and there was a sign stuck on the mirror. And it said, if you're being held against your will, call this number. So it kind of, leans toward the times in which we are living, in today's society. And I will add this: if you are an adult and you have children and you listen to the news, then they are hearing the news as well. Let that sink in for a minute. So that little sign, took me through all the stuff, sex trafficking, human trafficking, everything else, but it was clear, concise, to the point. If you are being held against your will, call this number. So since the media right now is publicizing the Sean Diddy Combs case due to go to trial in May of 2025, what you are seeing related to that is probably information related to the 120 cases that the defense attorney is representing. So if you just do the math, a couple of months this year and a couple of months of next year, like 15 cases for 8 months between now and May, it probably won't be all that, but it will be something. So, as they say, stand by. But if you look over the last several years, it would be like Weinstein. I think that was the Me Too movement for women. Epstein, R. Kelly, and now we have Diddy. So what puzzles me, although we have been warned multiple times about the use of a date rape drug, I say that in this context. We are humans, okay? We are humans. So we interact. Hi, how are you? I'm fine, how are you? Okay. And especially with the opposite sex. So I know, and again, in context, that women can say some crazy things, but they can say some cute things too. They can say some cute things too. But what I have not seen is anybody walking around with a sign that says, drug me, I'm yours. So I'm just going to kind of like put that out there. Top stories for today. Bill Gates donated $50 million to back Kamala Harris, and it comes as Trump appears to be catching up in the polls. Again, I understand that is part of the democratic process, but Trump was voted out after 4 years in office when he first was in the White House, and I don't think that he's going to get voted back in again. Judge orders Giuliani to hand over Manhattan penthouse, Trump campaign money, and 26 watches to defamed election workers. Ooh. Turning the page, Harris says America is ready for a female president of color. Now that is something that I'd given some thought to the other day. Around the world, many countries have already had female leaders in their government. So I wouldn't say that we were dragging our heels here in America or in the United States of America, but we're probably coming into it at a time appropriate for us. Let me say it that way. So, next one, Bruce Springsteen to hold battleground concerts with Kamala Harris and Barack Obama. Next one, these are all top stories in the news today. Stuart Varney, Harris's demonization of Trump is not working and her campaign knows it. An opinion. Next one, Walmart employee found dead inside bakery oven. Now that was strange. Police in Canada said Tuesday they are investigating after a 19-year-old Walmart employee was found dead inside a store's walk-in bakery oven, which is probably why I never see him or never noticed a bakery other than like that. Officers responded to the Walmart located in Halifax, Nova Scotia, on Saturday night after the employee was found dead, police said. Investigators are working with the Occupational Health and Safety and the Nova Scotia Medical Examiner Service, police said, calling the investigation complex. Excuse me. Next one, top stories. What is the recreational drug pink cocaine? You probably have heard that mentioned, especially in relation to the current news involving Sean Diddy Combs. And there's no way I can explain it. So here's the article. And it's just 15 hours old. What is the recreational drug pink cocaine? A recreational drug called pink cocaine is getting attention and causing confusion since it doesn't typically contain cocaine. The pink powder, really a grab bag of different drugs dyed pink, has turned up in drug seizures, prompting warnings from law enforcement. Pink cocaine is known as 2C, but both nicknames for the powder are more about marketing than reality. Experts say it rarely contains cocaine and is more likely to contain ketamine, a drug with very different effects. Why is it pink? Pink cocaine is pink thanks to food coloring or dye, said Joseph Palomar, who studies drug trends at NYU Langone Health in New York. Sometimes it has cocaine in the mix, but it's typically more of a ketamine concoction, Palomar said. Studies have found batches containing methamphetamine, MDMA, bath salts, caffeine, and opioids. It is a concoction that anyone can make if they have a couple of drugs and a pink dye, Palomar said. The word 2C may have been coined to mimic 2C-B, a recreational drug used on the rave scene in the 1990s and known for euphoric effects, according to a paper Palomar published last year. Drug analysis that Palomar reviewed showed 2C didn't typically contain 2C-B. Today, young people may not know the history of the name 2C, and they may be confused by the name pink cocaine, he said. It's just some pretty powder that their friends are using. They probably have no idea what it's supposed to be. Why is pink cocaine dangerous? The danger is tied to not knowing what's in it. Users could wind up with undesired effects or take a larger amount than past experience tells them they can handle. Ketamine is a powerful anesthetic approved for use during surgery, but in recent years it has been used recreationally and as a treatment for depression, anxiety, and pain. It can cause hallucinations and can impact breathing and the heart. Ketamine is not a fun drug to most people, Palomar said. It kind of puts you in your own little world, and things tend to feel very alien when you're on it, especially in large doses. Someone who's drunk at a party and thinks cocaine might counter alcohol's effects is going to be unpleasantly surprised by pink cocaine that actually mostly ketamine, he said. If you've been drinking, it's going to make you sick to your stomach, and the dissociative effects are not going to be very pleasant, he said. Where is pink cocaine coming from? In May, the U.S. Coast Guard reported seizing pink cocaine, among other drugs, off the coast of Mexico and Central and South America. That was the first time that I heard of large batches being imported into the U.S. as 2C, Palomar said. It was just as easy to be made by drug dealers in the United States who mix their own, he said. The Associated Press Health and Science Department receives support from the Howard Hughes Medical Institute Science and Educational Media Group. So this article is published by the AP, the Associated Press, and provided by Carla K. Johnson, 15 hours old. E. coli outbreak linked to McDonald's Quarter Pounders in multiple states. You might want to check that one if you're a McDonald's person. Tulsi Gabbard says she's joining Republican Party at Trump rally. Next one and final one, Harris for today's top stories. Harris reveals she's prepared for it if Trump won't concede election. We have the resources and the expertise. That's it. Hashtag